Pickslanting.
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 Pickslanting. Pickslanting. Everybody's talking about, still I get tons of questions over pickslanting. So I wanted to make this video where I'm going to give you 5 tips and licks which will help you definitely to become a pickslanting master. Hey guitar champion, I'm Justin Hornbach, back from my practice cave, and let's begin with today's video. Pickslanting is important. Pickslanting can save lives. So never underestimate the magical power of the pickslant. 5 licks that I'm going to give you in today's video is from my online course, which is called The Then of Speed Picking, where I'm talking in more than 5 hours and more than 60 exercises, 60 examples, something like this. I'm going to talk there about speed picking, one of my favorite techniques. So if you are interested to improve in your speed picking, to learn more licks for downward pickslanting, upward pickslanting, two-way pickslanting, string skipping, all that kind of stuff, then check out the link in the description box. There you will get The Then of Speed Picking. I'm not going to explain what pickslanting is in this video, therefore I have the ultimate guide for speed picking, which you can watch right around here somewhere, or maybe here, I think here. And the Then of Speed Picking, of course, there I have a lot of stuff talking about what pickslanting actually is. In this video I give you 5 tips how to properly use pickslanting into your general playing. So I would say, weniger schnacken, Kopf im Nacken, let's go. And check out the description box, there you will find also the tabs for today's video. Tip number 1 is a question I get a lot, and this is, should I use only upward pickslanting or should I stay on my downward pickslanting technique? And the answer for this is use both. If you want to pick a really complex line on a high intensity level, on high tempo, then you should master the technique of both, of two-way pickslanting, of upward pickslanting and downward pickslanting. You can practice both individually with certain licks and certain lines, but I would recommend to practice, both. So don't say, I'm a downward pickslanter, so I will stay on downward pickslanting. No. Try to learn and master both of them, and I guarantee to you, your picking playing will feel more fluent and more advanced, and you will gain definitely more control over your picking. So okay, so much for tip number 1, which you should be aware of. Now let's check out the first lick. Here we go. Alright, question number 2 is, when should I change my pickslant during a two-way pickslant situation? One concept is the change gradually, where you're going, like when you have 5 notes or 7 notes, it's important to have an uneven number of notes per string, because otherwise than that you shouldn't have two-way pickslanting situation. So if you have 5 notes or 7 notes, then you have more time to gradually change your pickslant. But I am more the last note pickslant changer. What does this mean? Well, I usually change my pickslant direction from upward to downward or from downward to upward, depends on the situation, on the last note before I change the string. Let me demonstrate you this with a slow-mo video I released on my Instagram page, and also I think here on YouTube as a small reel, and there you can perfectly see how I changed my pickslant on the last note before going to the next string. There I start with upward pickslanting, then going to the next string, to downward pickslanting, and on the last note from the next string where I want to go back to upward pickslant, I do this during the last note. This comes from practicing the snap technique, the Paul Gilbert snap technique. Speaking of Paul Gilbert snap technique, I have here a Paul Gilbert snap technique lick from The Then of Speed Picking. Right, tip number 3 is, where do I have my palm during speed picking and during the Pickslant process? And I always have my palm on the bridge. So my arm is not moving like this when I'm going from the low to the higher string. It's more like this. There is a slightly arm movement there, yes, I have to admit this, but most of the movement is when I'm playing here on the low E string and going to the high E string. It's more coming from this. So this side is always, this palm side is always on the bridge, on the lower, on the bridge of the low strings. Well, that's not 100% true. Good morning from the Sunday morning, currently editing this video, Justin. I was going through some videos from me playing, and then I realized, yes, my palm is on the bridge, but not always on the low strings. Let me try to demonstrate this to you again. I have it here on the low strings, and then I'm moving more like in this kind of direction. So this field here, this section, is always on the bridge. I have a fixed point there. Here's a footage where you can see it a little bit better. So this is how I have my palm on the bridge. It's not constantly on this side. It's moving between this field here, this area here. I'm always muting the low strings. So even when I'm shredding on the lower strings like the E string or even the B string on the 7th string, I have them constantly in palm muting. This is where my palm rests. There are some really crazy guitar players out there who have their palm free in the air. I want to experiment a little bit with that next year when I have a little bit more time in my hand to experiment with that. I don't know if this has any benefits or not. It does not seem like making something better or worse yet, but I will try to find this one out. But so far when I'm shredding, I have my palm from my right hand on the bridge. Tip number 4 is, can I use or should I use the Pickslanting technique on other techniques or even on rhythm guitar? And there the answer for this question is definitely yes. The awareness of Pickslanting itself definitely will improve your, of course, the cross picking, because when I'm honest, cross picking is the same motion and the same movement like speed picking. There's no difference. Sweep picking, all this kind of stuff, economy picking, even some hybrid picking, and especially in rhythm guitar. There are some situations nowadays, for example, when I have to play the song We'll Be Back by Megadeth with my Megadeth tribute band Megalife, there's a situation in the end of the song where I have to try the chord and then straight I have to go back to the E string, and the chord is staying on the A string. So there I can perfectly use upward Pickslant to strike that chord and then going back through the upward Pickslant motion to the low E string and then rocking again the E string. So yes, there are tons of situations for rhythm guitar as well, where the awareness of Pickslanting definitely is going to help you. So practice also your Pickslanting while practicing your rhythm guitar. Really important. And the last tip, or more let's say the last answer, is how should I practice my Pickslanting? And there I have to say, take your time. Take certain practice ideas. I suggested a lot of practice methods on the Ultimate Guide for Speed Picking or on one of my latest video about hand synchronization. Go watch that video if you want to have some input for your practice routine and practice method, because this is really important. Not only what you are practicing, but especially how you are practicing it. Be aware, there is no such thing as one lick that can push you to the next level. It's more like, how should I practice certain licks with a certain awareness about what I'm doing here. So check out those methods that I've mentioned in these videos. Try to include it into your practice routine, but the most important thing is practice it every day. Doesn't matter if 15 minutes, 30 minutes, or even 1 or 2 hours. Try to have consistency in your practice routine and try to practice every day. This is really important. Otherwise, I would say start with downward pickslanting, then upward pickslanting. Check out the links that I have there for this on the Then of Speed Picking. And then start with the snap movement from the Paul Gilbert lick, where you only have one note on the higher string or on the lower string. And then start with some licks where you have slightly amount of two-way pickslanting. Like for example, there are some licks on the Then of Speed Picking where you have most of the time upward pickslanting, and then for a short time you have downward pickslanting. So this is not too confusing for you, or vice versa, like most amount of time downward pickslanting and then a little bit of upward pickslanting. And then go to a lick where you have constant switch between upward and downward pickslanting. Like just simply playing a scale, a 3-note per string scale up and down without any sequence in it. There you have always 3 notes on a string, uneven number of notes per string, so you have to change the pickslant direction every string. And then go on and try something like the stairs lick, the really famous 4-note phrase where you really have to be aware of what your pickslanting is. Alright, so much about pickslanting. If you have any more questions about pickslanting, feel free to write it down in the comments. I hope you liked this little video. Please consider subscribing to this channel. This helps me a lot. Check out the Then of Speed Picking, and then I'm going to see you in my next video. Cheers so far and stay progress. Bye.